Hello everyone. In this video, we'll talk about Modigliani and Miller's first proposition for tax-free economy. Modigliani and Miller's argument that debt policy is irrelevant is an application of a very simple idea. If we have two streams of cash flow, A and B, then the present value of A plus B is equal to the present value of A plus the present value of B. That's common sense. Now, if you have 1 rupee in your left pocket and a rupee in your right one, your total wealth is 2. Now, we are not combining the assets but splitting them up. But this value additivity theorem works just as well in the reverse. We can slice a cash flow into as many parts as we like. The values of the parts will always sum back to the value of unsliced stream. Of course, we have to make sure that none of the stream is lost in the slicing. We cannot say that the value of a pie is independent of how it is sliced, because if the slicer is also a nibbler. There is really a law of conservation of value here. The value of an asset is preserved regardless of the nature of the claims against it. Thus, the proposition 1 says that the firm value is determined on the left hand side of the balance sheet by the real assets and not by the proportions of the debt and equity securities issued to buy the assets. For example, we could apply the law of conservation of value to the choice between issuing preferred stock, common stock, or some combination as been shown on the screen. The law implies that the choice is irrelevant, assuming the perfect capital markets and providing that the choice does not affect the firm's investment and the operating policies. So, if the total value of the equity is pi and that is fixed, the firm's owners do not care how this pie is sliced. You can see this by imagining two firms that generate the same stream of operating income but differ only in their capital structure. Firm U is unlevered, which means that it only has an equity, which is EU in this case, and hence it is similar to VU, which is the total value of this firm. On the other hand, firm L is levered. The value of the stock in this case is therefore equal to the value of the total firm minus the debt value. Hence, EL is equal to VL minus DL. Now think which of these firms you would prefer to invest in. If you don't want to take too much risk, you can buy the common stock in the unlevered firm. For example, if you buy 1% of the firm's U shares, your investment will be zero point zero 0.01 VU and you are entitled to 1% of the total profits. Now compare this with the alternate strategy. This is to purchase the same fraction of both the debt and equity. Please note 1% of total value of firm L. Your investment will be zero point zero 0.01 VL and again you will get zero point zero 0.01 of the profits. How is that? As you can see on the screen, 0.01 into interest plus 0.01 multiplied by profits minus interest. Again, I am reinstating that this is assuming that there is a tax-free economy. Hence, there is no role of tax to play in these figures. Now, both these strategies offer the same payoff, which is 1% of the firm's profits. The law of one price tells us that in well functioning markets, two investments that offer the same payoff must have the same price. Therefore, 0.01 VU is equal to zero point zero 0.01 VL. That is, that the value of unlevered firm is equal to the value of levered firm. Suppose you are willing to run a little more risk. You decide to buy 1% of the outstanding shares of the levered firm. Your investment will be zero point zero 0.01 EL, and as you can see on the screen, this will amount to zero point zero 0.01 of VL, which is the total value of the levered firm, minus the debt of the levered firm, and the return that you will get will be zero point zero 0.01 multiplied by profits minus interest. But again, there is an alternative strategy to this. You can borrow zero point zero 0.01 DL, which is the debt of the levered firm, on your account and purchase 1% of the stock of the unlevered firm. In this case, your strategy gives you 1% of the profit from VU, but you have to pay the interest on the loan, the borrowing that you have done of 1% paid by the firm L. So your total investment is going to be zero point zero 0.01 value of the unlevered firm minus the debt of the levered firm. And again, the return that you will get will be zero point zero 0.01 profits minus zero point zero 0.01 interest to be paid on that borrowing, which leads us to the similar return as in the previous case. So both these strategies offer the similar payoff, 1% of the profits after interest. Therefore, both the investments must have the same cost. The investment 0.01 VU minus DL must be equal to 0.01 VL minus DL, which is true in only one case, when the value of unlevered firm is equal to the value of levered firm. So it does not matter whether the world is full of risk-averse chickens or venturesome lions. All would agree that the value of unlevered firm U must be equal to the value of levered firm, as long as the investors can borrow or lend on their own account on the same terms as the firm can do, and they can undo the effect of any changes in the firm's capital structure. This is the basis of MM1's famous proposition, which is that the market value of firm is independent of its capital structure. Thank you. Do join for more videos.